Jewish Londoners have slammed the government advisors' no-go zones claim about pro-Palestinian marches. I'm going to read into this more from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Byline Times with the headline of Jewish Londoners have slammed the government advisors' no-go zones claimed about pro-Palestine marches. I'm sick to death of this idea that Jews think in a singular way. One Jewish Londoner responded to the government's advisor, Robin Simcox. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, you can hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So yeah, government have made this advice that Jewish Londoners should stay away from London over the weekends. This pathetic, really, attempt to try and separate, try to make this idea that all Jewish people have a mindset of the same thing, and which is complete and utter nonsense. There are some. I want to make this clear. There are some Jewish people who obviously support Israel and support their right to defend themselves and support what they're doing, regardless of whether people believe it or not. There are some Jews out there who, there are some Jewish people out there who are not interested in anything that's happening in the Middle East and just want to carry on living their lives and don't want nothing to do with it. And there are obviously some Jews out there who, seeing what has happened, seeing what Israel is doing, seeing what the Israeli government are doing, and abhorrent by the actions, and want the marches, and want what's happening there to stop, and they want a ceasefire. There's all sorts of to put all Jewish people in the same column is wrong. It's the same thing with Muslims. Everybody has different views. Everybody has different opinions. Yes, some people, whether or not you have whatever your religion, background, skin color, whatever it can be, we all have different views and different opinions. Now, for the government to say that Jews should not be going to London on the weekend is complete and utter BS. I don't accept this premise in any way, shape or form, because they are marching to free Palestine. They're not marching because they condemn the Jews in any way. They're not condemning Jewish people. They are marching because they want a ceasefire. They want a ceasefire to take place that's happening within the Gaza Strip, as Israel continues to bombard and destroy the lives of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people within that Gaza Strip. As of the time of this recording, over 30,000 Palestinians have died. More than 12,000 probably children have already died. Some have died of malnutrition and dehydrating because they haven't had food or water given to them as well. The consistent bombings that has been done by Israel as well. All of that has been taking place, guys. This is nothing. What's happening with the pro-Palestinian marches is absolutely nothing to do with ordinary Jewish citizens, whether it's here in the UK or anywhere across the world, living their lives. It has nothing to do with them. This is about them. This Palestinian marches. This is about them calling for a ceasefire in Gaza to stop the bloodshed, to stop people dying. That is the premise of what this is about. But the government wants you to think that these marches are bad, that these are hateful, and that they're causing stress. That is not true whatsoever. That is not what's happening. And if you don't want to take my word for it, and if you don't want to take the government's word for it, I implore you to please go down there on the weekends and talk to these people. Right? Go and talk to them. Go and talk to them, and they will tell you themselves. If you don't want to take my word for it, if you don't want to take the government's word for it, certainly don't take it from certain sections of the media, because they will try to paint this as these people are bad. Literally, go down there and talk to them in person, because they will paint you a very different story to what certain media outlets are telling you. But what I'm telling you, and whether you want to believe me or not, and that's entirely your discretion, they are marching because they want peace. Because they want the guns to stop firing, they want the bombs to stop dropping, and they want Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip to stop dying. They want that. And I've said this before, and I've said this again. Israel has the right to defend itself. Yes, of course it does. but Israel does not in any way has the right to justify killing 30,000 people plus for what's happened as well. There is no justification for it. Yeah, there is none. Let's be clear about that. So many Jewish Londoners have slapped down the government's advisor's claim that London is now a no-go zone for Jews during the weekly pro-Palestinian marches. Again, nonsense. Calling for tougher action against the Palestinian protests, government anti-extremist tsar Robin Simcox told the Telegraph, "We will have become an authoritarian state if London is no longer permitted to be tunnelled into a no-go zone for Jews every weekend. All these things and more are becoming normalised in the UK." It wouldn't be normalised, these marches, if all the parties, political parties, actually just agreed for a blimmin' ceasefire. But we know they won't. The SNP have made their position very clear. Labour are fiddling around with what their position is, and the government are just sort of thing. Yeah. His comments dominated the Friday paper's front page and led the BBC agenda. BBC's Radio 4 reported that Simcox, the self-described neoconservative, declined to appear on a show on Friday morning to answer questions about his claim. Yeah, I wonder why. Responding to his comments, Green London Mayor, London Assembly member Zack, who is Jewish, replied, "I've been on plenty of Palestinian marches and spoken at them, and as a Jewish person I felt completely safe. Whilst I doubt there are fearful people in our Jewish community, headlines like this, which serve to stoke fear and tensions, are utterly irresponsible." And that's exactly what it is. It's designed nothing more than stir up these culture wars and that. Honestly, people, don't believe what these idiots are telling you. It's just stoking up unnecessary culture wars and tension. Polanski told Byline Times that he has worked closely with Jewish organisations such as NATMOC, which marches for a ceasefire, and Palestinian human rights. They are bringing Jewish voices against the occupation together and have been excellent in demonstrating the growing Jewish movement that is utterly horrified by what is seen unfold in Gaza, he said. "I've been and spoken at these rallies also, and there's an absolute feeling of what can we do now to make a ceasefire happen when politicians from two old parties are looking away." Exactly. Both parties are looking away. It feels like stoking up stories of no-go zones are a huge distraction from our complicity in the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. Simcox previously worked for the Henry Jackson Society think tank. Think tank. What a surprise. One of its founders, Matthew Jameson, wrote in 2017 that he was ashamed of his involvement, that it had allegedly become a far-right, deeply anti-Muslim, racist propaganda outfit to smear other cultures, religions and ethnic groups. Jemison and organisations such as the Muslim Council of Britain have claimed that the HJS has relentlessly demonised Muslims and Islam, a claim the group denies. Funny that, isn't it? Another Jewish Londoner, Rachel Penn, said that she was so sick to death of this idea that Jews think in a singular way. From ultra-Orthodox to Seneca, from the right wing to left wing, we have so many different views, yet are patronised in the media as being incapable of different views. Yeah, that's exactly it. I march with Jewish blogs in some weeks, and the very warm welcome it gets weeks in and week out is heartwarming. This is how peace will be achieved, not this culture war BS. Once again, Jews are being used as political football by politicians. That's exactly what it is. Muslims and Jews are being used as a political football for the stoke culture war here. Ben Samuel, a Jewish Londoner from Edgware, has been in central London regularly to take part in the marches. He has marched with the Jewish blog in all weathers. While he said he's witnessed a change in London since the October 7th attack and rising fears over security, he has felt safe at the marches. "I've monitored the situation closely by talking with Jewish neighbours and those at my synagogue," he told Byline Times. "In fact, synagogues have been a no-go zone for my black Jewish friend. The police presence has made the situation intolerable." He said another Jewish friend has felt uncomfortable at the atmosphere within a synagogue since October. At the end of a service, the decision was made to sing Halavika, the national anthem of Israel, he added. But the whole atmosphere made her uncomfortable, so she bravely spoke at Bilia pulpit, acknowledging Palestinians in her talk. "It's the first time I've ever heard the P word in that communal setting." Samuel says he has been taken off door duty by the synagogue since October, and he believes it may have been triggered by his pro-Palestine views. And while he has witnessed anti-Semitism and protest signs which crassly reference the Holocaust, media portrayals of the Palestinian demonstrations do not present the full picture. I think it's vital that voices like mine are represented in the media reports, he added. Samuel will continue to join the Jewish blog at the pro-ceasefire protests. Green activist Leslie Graham, based in Norwich, has said, I once hid my Matos in a shopping trolley in case anyone associated me with these massacres. Nobody did. I support the ceasefire marches in Norwich and London, and yes, it's uncomfortable, but nothing to the life, death, grief and terror in the remains of Gaza. Matthew Butcher, a Jewish Londoner and progressive activist, said, I am Jewish and it's just extraordinarily irresponsible for the government advisors to say this. I'll be in central London feeling just fine, I say. Non-profit policy worker James Ingram argued that Jews appeared to be useful to Simcox's worldview, that these comments were damaging and exclusivity. However, another Jewish London, Nicole Lumpert, said that she and her Jewish family were fearful on Saturdays when there are people with anti-Semitic placards and people singing for the destruction of the only Jewish state. I note there are no calls for peace or for the return of the hostages on these demos, apart from the Jewish blog, she added. Jewish people were already at a low level of fear because of the multiple threats against us. We don't have security guards outside of schools, nurseries and synagogues for fun because of all the death threats. We've seen it in France, Belgium, etc. How these attacks will be carried out will also be taken into account. There are obviously, understandably, some people have difference of opinions on the marches, but you can see here she hasn't called them hate marches. Writer Tanya Gold claims that London was a no-go zone and was observed, but added certain parts of the marches, anywhere where hostage posters are repeatedly defaced, feeling threatened to the Jews who are not anti-Zionists, i.e. most of us. Gold said that while the marches haven't erupted into violence, and probably wrote, the demonstrators of Israel, and with it Jews who don't denounce Israel, feels apparently familiar. In the medieval period, Jews were god killers, demonic beings, and inhuman. You can hear very clear echoes of the language now. That is what terrifies us, and that's why fear is rational. I'm not sure how I feel about those comments. Responding to Byline Times calls for views on Simcox comics, Francis Freeman claimed that some Jewish friends can no longer go on the marches because of the increase in anti-Semitic hate. Another Jewish respondent, Rebecca Tennant, has said, I cannot go into central London on Saturdays because I feel threatened. I won't take my children into central London on protest days. Many friends agree. Rabbi Zoe Summons, who lives in Reading, often comes to London, said he has faced anti-Semitic behaviour, though not necessarily on the marches. He told Byline Times, I am street savvy. I have 2 or 3 occasions when a young man approached me from behind. He's a menacing manner whilst I'm walking down the road. They saw my kippah. I turned to avoid the situation becoming threatening to me. It's pretty terrible, to say the least. Like these threats and concerns about Jewish people are definitely not going away. We totally understand that, but you know, making comments like this idiot has is not like that idiot has from Robert Simcox. It's not going to help the situation. It's only going to continue to stoke division, and we want the division to stop, guys. We really do. We don't want the tension. Yes, I know people are going to mention this in the comments, yeah, but we can't do anything about what's happening in Gaza. Yes, I know we can't. I understand that. But that doesn't mean to say that we can't have a voice, that we can't speak out about the atrocities that's happening down there. Just like what's happening around the world. You know, there's over, right, yeah, did you know, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that over 25 million Sudanese are suffering right now because of the conflict that's taking place in that country? Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, that's because nobody talks about it. You know, the ongoing conflict that's taking place in Ukraine, obviously that's one that doesn't really highlight as much as what's happening in Gaza, but that's still going on, by the way. So I still cover short stories about citizens getting injured or shot or hit by a bomb or whatever as well that takes place on the front lines there. We don't talk about what's happening in Myanmar as well, the ongoing conflicts that have been taking place there. There's still many people around the world who are suffering. But it's only what the media wants you to read, really, at the end of the day, isn't it, I suppose? But what I will say on a final point, guys, is that, look, I want people to stop dying. I really do. That's what I generally believe. And I don't approve in any way, shape, or form any kind of anti-Semitic behaviour between Jews or Muslims, or to them in any way, shape, or form. And I think if you're one of those people, you're not helping anyone. You're not helping anyone in any way, shape, or form, and you're just disrupting people's lives, and you're making things worse for people out there. If you are one of those people, stop it, because I don't want you anywhere near my channel, because I don't want to associate myself with people like you who think attacking or verbal abusing, whether they're Jews, whether they're Muslims, whoever they are on the street, you think that's going to change what's going to happen. No. But these people are the pro-Palestinian marches. They're calling for a ceasefire. They want the bloodshed to stop. I want the bloodshed to stop. But attacking innocent Jews or Muslims, it's not going to change anything in the Middle East. They're just trying to live their lives. So please think about that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this story? What do you guys make of Jewish Londoners? So maybe some of you are Jewish listening to this and have a different perspective. Maybe you are fearful about going into London over the weekends. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button, be greatly appreciated. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.